everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Stella, and this is Taryn from Meeple University.
You didn't warn me you were about to hit that.
Oh, did you?
And I was like, ah.
That's
it
great.
will be very noticeable to those of you at home.
I'll edit it out. Maybe not.
Yeah.
And welcome to our live stream and giveaway. So this is our first live stream in
many months, since March.
Ages. Yes, since March.
Since we played Mythwind,
yeah. So whether you watch it live or not, we have our top games of the month. We have the games that I'm looking at Kickstarter, and a few bits and pieces, and FAQ and giveaway.
Yes.
So the giveaway is thanks to Cranio Creations. We're giving away some games. One game worldwide.
Bring it in.
Sure, let's bring it in. Yeah. And Stacey's here. Hello, Stacey. I haven't talked to you for ages. Live, that is. Woo! Someone is wonderful to see you both live. Oh, we miss you so much too. So this is it. So Taryn, do you want to let everyone know how to enter this?
How is it? It is.
Oh, I'll fix the screen.
Yes, normally it comes up. Yes, so we will be doing a giveaway, not a strictly live one like we used to do, but this will be a giveaway from now until a week after we publish this video. And come into the comments for the video and comment there, and we will choose a week from now a winner.
Well done, Taryn.
That was very, very faint praise there. So, I was not briefed.
That's okay.
I was briefed last night and then I forgot.
And I briefed him this morning. Anyways, to enter, just put it on the comments. So you don't have to be live. Just put in the comments, not in the chat, but separately comment. Just comment on anything and we draw in 1 week. You can say anything. You can share us what your favorite games at the moment are, what you highlight, what games you want to see here, or just saying hello, my hello. So comments, and then make sure you check back in 1 week after that. So, and then we'll just organize, we'll contact you, ask for your email, and then we'll sort it out and send you this.
Yes, so thanks to Cranio Creations, Beyond the Horizon.
Yeah.
This is
1 week from now,
yes.
from today, we'll have the competition open.
Indeed, so this is the follow-up to Beyond the Sun. It's probably 70% Beyond the Sun. And then it has a new sort of exploration map version rather than the aggressive area control part that came with Beyond the Sun.
Yeah. So this is my top games of last month. Feels like last month, but it was actually 2 months ago.
Yes.
There you go.
There we go.
So information's in the video description as well. And hello, everybody who just joined us. It's so wonderful to see you all again. Let me try to get this thing. I tried these new things where I can pop up some things. Ta-da! Did it work?
Yes. Woohoo! Hello.
Hello. And then we've got Stacey. And then we have Devil Dogs 8. Nice to see you again. Whoop! My eyes is not good enough to see this, but
it's woohoo hello. So it's the first thing from the chat.
This one?
So you have to click through the whole conversation.
Oh, okay. Well, I can do that. And we have Sparky as well.
Yes.
Is this the one? Yay! Yeah. Thank you. Good morning. And Nedeldo Dukik. When I need to learn how to play a game, you know where to come. Oh, thank you so much for your very nice comments. And so we keep this casual. So if you have any questions, we'll have a look and then we'll try to answer as best as we can. There's a question here as well.
Yes.
Will you both be at CanCon?
Most likely, yes, that one isn't it?
Most likely? What do you mean? You promised me you'll come to CanCon.
Yeah, no, we'll be at CanCon.
Thank you so much. Well, what's in the agenda is we've already announced the giveaway. We don't know if this is what we are going to do every month, a live vlog, but it is a chance to chat to you, everyone. It's not going to be playing games. We're going to chat with you, and we're going to share you what's going on here as well.
Yeah, and this will also cover our what has been a monthly top 5 games of the month.
Yes, correct.
We will get to that later on. Well, actually, it's actually going to be top 10 games of the last 2 months in this case, because
Yes.
we were away for half of September. We barely played 5 games in the
That's a
first
lie.
half of September.
We play games, but it's not new games.
We didn't, so bringing it all back together.
Yes. So let's see what's in the agenda first, Taryn.
And yes, I call it a jumper.
Which one's the jumper? I was just
The
imagining.
4th comment.
Okay, yeah, Stacey said, yeah, there's your famous jumper.
Yes.
Not infamous.
I had it for it's been on 10 years now. I got it from an op shop in Sea Lake, Victoria.
That's good.
Probably the last jumper I bought.
Somebody call it, is it pajamas?
It has been called, it has been commented that it's a little pajama-like as well. It's a bit of a retro style.
So let us know what you've been up to. What are you doing? What have you been up to? What games you've been playing? What Kickstarter have you been backing? I want to ask you about the community Discord. At the moment, it's everywhere. There's Facebook. I used to have Patreon, but now we have YouTube membership. I want to ask you, and I'm thinking about doing Discord. I think I've asked you this last time. So we can have anyone's joining in, whether a member or not. I haven't thought of that yet. So if we have a meetup, like in Gen Con, Essen, we can talk about games and so on, questions, comments. We can put it in the community. So there is the plan to have Discord. So that's one thing that you can tell us in the comments as well, please, if you are using Discord or any other suggestions. Because with Discord, you can control what you want to, we don't want to give you too many notifications as well, because I know exactly how it feels. I don't have Facebook notification on actually on my phone and Instagram, so I have to manually looking at that. So with Discord, from what I was told, I'm a noob at Discord. I have learned about it first. From what I was told is that you can put you can decide to have notification on or not. Within a certain group, you can decide if you want to join certain topics or not and so on. I think that's great.
I think it's important to turn
notifications
off
for this
year. And I even find it with email. I remember when I first had Outlook, when that little envelope pops up on the icon, it's a brain itch.
Yes.
I want to.
You also just click
time. I just all right. I'm disengaged from this, and now I'll read emails. So.
Yes. Oh, we have questions already. Let's see. Shouldn't be a top 20. I feel shortchanged. Whoops.
Well, 2 times 10 is 20. So
you should probably
get the full amount.
I can't see that from here. My eyes is too. Stacey was saying it shouldn't be that top 20.
Do I have to click on the?
Correct. Left click. Oh, sorry. It's a left hand mouse. Terrence like, what? Yes, it's probably should be top 20, which we probably are doing that. So you're not going to be shortchanged.
We have Hannah on the line.
Oh, Hannah, hello. We met Hannah at Essen. Lovely Hannah at Essen Spiel. We actually play a few games as well, which you're probably going to see the games. You're probably familiar with the game they're going to show you. There's a question. What's your go-to game for Halloween? Oh, that's a great question.
Yes. What did we play this Halloween? That's a different question.
No, well, if we want to do that, we'll go to Horrified. Or I want to play the Villainous.
Yeah. We played Harvest, and that has pumpkins in it.
That's correct.
So that was relatively thematic, I think.
Yes, yeah. Taryn is in control.
Yes.
Remember, it's a left-hand mouse. Sorry, I'm using 2 hands for mouse.
Left-hand mouse, and it's got way more buttons than I'm used to.
Hello, Benzin. Welcome to our live stream. So Benzin says, I've been... I can't see it.
Yes. Been playing Fool's Blade, which was recently come on Kickstarter. Similar vibes to Munchkin, but very different.
That sounds like a fun game. Hannah, I can see your user image was taken at some con with everyday display. Nice. So Halloween is just one day. I tend to focus on fall/autumn theme games. That's what Stacey said. But really, like beside that, we've been playing a lot of other games that we got from Essential. Civolution is one. Anyway, we're going to talk about it a little bit later. So, oh, that's right. Agricola has got pumpkins too.
Yes. And Agricola has a lot of pumpkins. That was like one of the first, that was in the video we did last Christmas where we were doing jokes and parodies out of Nightmare Before Christmas. And I was as Jack Skellington and I had Agricola, but I put pumpkins on literally every space on the board. It's just like, I'm the Pumpkin King.
Yes, that's actually true. That's a reference for the movie. I watched that movie a few times. You?
Twice.
Okay. I certainly watched it again before making that video. Like, what is that? I can't remember the reference. Yeah. Some of them might be a little bit too obscure.
Yes.
Anyways, that's it.
For the die-hard fan.
The die-hard fan, yes. All right, so we're going to get to... so that's questions about Discord. Please let us know what you think of Discord to join. Is that going to be useful for you? And we are going to share you what games we think are hot right now. What games are hot right now, Terry?
What games are hot? Because we're now a little bit...
What is hot? What does that mean, hot?
I mean, for me, it was what was big at Essen, because we're still in that post-Essen
period
month.
Yes.
And, really the big... I think people are now starting to get those big Euros from Essen played.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the people in America or Canada, they might not have that there yet, and they are waiting for the American and Canadian distributor to bring those games to the country, I guess. Otherwise, if they pre-ordered or they went to Essential. And thank you, Stacey. Stacey said, where is it? I can't see it there now. Is this one?
It's not on that screen yet.
Okay, that's okay. It's just
or it needs to be scrolled.
Cancel. Sorry, I was like, something pop up on my computer. Technology,
We're a little bit out of practice in this live streaming business.
You don't say that. I am. Yes, the first game that we think is hot right now is SETI.
Yep, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. This was the big release from Czech Games. And Czech Games is always... They're very much known for those big Essen releases and big chunky games.
Yeah, always release it on Essen. Almost always. I mean, My Little Alchemist is not big and chunky, but it was available at Gen Con, I believe, or limited amount in Gen Con. That's one I really want to play because we enjoy Alchemists, and this is a lighter version of Alchemists.
Little Alchemists.
Little Alchemists,
SETI
yes.
Is not. SETI's a completely different game.
SETI, Stacey said CGE does not disappoint. Yeah. One thing that I find it a little bit harder to play, one of their releases, is the Devil's one.
Deal with the Devil from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, because it's a kind of like heavy game, and you need to have 4 players. So it's a bit hard to, okay, we have to have 4 players that learn it, that's already know how to play, preferably, and play it.
It was an interesting release, that one. It was, at their stall this year, they were clearing it out, essentially. They had it heavily discounted or even free, I think, with some of their other things. So it wasn't a game that quite hit, but it was one of those really innovative games. And if it had hit, it would have hit big.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when Stonemaier released Pendulum. That was ultimately not very successful, but if it had been, it would have been like revolutionary and driven a whole lot of
We're back.
Yes.
Well, I checked it.
Sorry, we casted an image from this, but the video was there. What was the last thing we said? Not too long. Yes. So, no, back to talking about SETI. So yeah, that's the release this year. It's from Thomas Holek,
Yes, sorry.
who
Yes, that was the
had
game that we meant to talk about.
who had a few big releases.
Thank you, everyone.
Not a well-known designer, but had a couple of big releases at Essen with Galileo Galilei as well.
Yes.
From him.
Yeah, and game that we did not get at Essen, Tea Garden.
Tea Garden, yes.
Tea Garden, yeah.
Yeah, that was not one that I'd heard the buzz about going in, but it was. It had a really big queue and sold out also.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll be able to let you know more about SETI.
Yes, it's on our table.
Yeah.
It's
It's
ready to play.
Darren's very honest.
So we've got it to the table, but we haven't moved any cardboard around yet. So. Table. It's on our table.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
It's on our dining room table.
It's true, actually. So that is one that I think is hot right now. And then the next one is Lord of the Ring. How's that?
Yes, Lord of the Rings Duel. Duel for Middle Earth.
Yeah.
So that.
Also, this is not the one. What is this?
So this was probably the biggest light to mid release of Spiel, and it is the new themed version of
Doesn't come up.
Seven Wonders Duel. So Seven Wonders Duel, it's been such a big game over so long, and this is the new version. We have played it.
Why is not opening?
What are you looking for? So we have played that. It is it's a tweak. It's kind of it's 70% Seven Wonders Duel, and it's a bit less aggressive in terms of you can't just completely jack up the price of the resources that your opponent needs. So the substitution cost for a resource that you don't have is always consistent, but it adds a little the military track, instead of just being a two-directional thing, you've got a little map to play around on, which is pretty good.
Yeah, it's like literally we saw at PAX Australia and at Essen Spiel, people are lining up to get it. At even PAX Australia, there's like stack and stack of this game somewhere being sold.
Yep, and they've taken away the victory point victory, so it's no longer a points-based game. You have to win on one of 3 explosive objectives. And it's interesting because what used to be the wonders are now landmarks, and they're not just worth heaps of points, they're only worth these tactical benefits.
Tactical benefit, so, rather than points. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a different spin to kind of a classic game.
The next one is, so just quickly on that, had a buzz about SETI, not much more, with PAX Unplugged. That's right, there's PAX Unplugged, which unfortunately I couldn't make it. And Imogen Eric has played both Galileo and Tea Garden, enjoyed them, but preferred Galileo. Good. Both by the same designer, including SETI, you know? Yeah, PAX Australia is only in Australia. It's mixed with video games as well in PAX Australia. Yeah. All right, next one is Civolution.
Civolution, yes, this was this the biggest buzz or the biggest game of Spiel? Maybe not. It's sold out. I think it's sold out the fastest.
The smallest one. You can see what I've recently viewed on the side there. Haha, lol.
Yes, so this is Stefan Feld's big Euro-style civilization game.
Yeah, funnily enough, I mean, the theme is slightly unexpected. I mean, it's civilization, but you are a student in like this future world, alternative world, where this is your final exam. You're building out civilization, the evolution of civilization.
Yes, and you can grow a beak.
What?
There's a beak card.
Yes.
The game is set up in front of us out of view because we're filming how to play after this for it. So getting ready for that. Was I
just
supposed
spill
to
out? Oh, just spill everything out. That's okay. Yeah, you're fine.
I like the word beak, so that's.
Yeah. So it's actually they have limited supply as well of Civolution, so we're able to snatch one on day one. Next one, Taryn. So we got 2 more that I want to share. Is Andromeda's Edge. So that game is a spiritual successor from Dwellings of Eldervale.
Yes, and I think we was it a I can't remember what I was going to say. We have, I mean, we played this one a couple months ago, and we did, it did feature in our top fives a couple months ago, I think.
That's correct, yeah.
But yeah, it's really starting to get out there now, and
Fulfill.
people really like it. It takes that. I mean, Dwellings was such a popular game to begin with, and it adds a tableau building element to the game that
It's
Dwellings
very
didn't have.
satisfying. I really love it. I love this one even more than Dwellings. I think it's a great game, and if you
And Dwellings was your top game of its year.
So there you go. What's going to happen now? No, there's just so many other great games as well. I mean, Dwellings has got its own things that I love as well, obviously. When the one very unique thing is that satisfying thing when you build an engine, and then when you actually retrieve your workers, you get to activate those. I mean, that's like, whoa, kind of like income that you can choose, something like that. Next one is, the last one that I'm going to talk about is Black Forest.
Yes, this was a Feuerland release,
Correct.
and it is it takes, I wouldn't say it's a successor to Glass Road, but it uses the same sort of action selection mechanism that Glass Road has.
Stacey said also successes to Glass Road, yeah.
You can instantly see from the components that it's a Rosenberg farming type of game because it has all those tiles that you'll put down and you'll build up your farm. This one hasn't made it to our table yet.
Not yet.
But it was definitely another one of the big releases for Spiel.
I do want to highlight now Galileo Galilei. Oh man, if I can spell it right. It's just like, there it is. Galileo Galilei is also one of the hot Spiel release, just an extra bonus.
Yep.
And this is by Thomas Holleck, as you mentioned. So there you go. So this is something that we are looking forward to play because we have a copy right there.
Yes.
So those are the games that I think there's a few other games as well that I think is like hot and everyone's playing it. I mean, Arcus seems to be in the top 10 hot list, like Arcs all the time on BGG. But talking about these games at the moment and playing it, and then hopefully liking it. Next on the agenda, I'm going to talk about the games that look good on Kickstarter. I'm going to show you a couple of things as well. That one special mention is Shadow Moon Syndicate. So this is by the designer is Jared or Jay from 3 Minute Board Games, which is a YouTube channel that has got things, videos. Most videos are 3 minutes and a bit.
Yes, very quick, animated, punchy summaries of games is what his base is.
Yeah, Jay is based on New Zealand, and we are lucky enough to meet Jay at Wellington, the convention in New Zealand earlier this year. So we played a little bit there. We played a little bit more after. It's an area control with multi-use cards, so that is quite unique.
Yeah, it's a very pointed design, and you can see where it's all been based. All the cards are about getting your influence into certain areas or messing up the cards so that your cards combo better with them.
Yes.
All the points come from getting your influence in areas and either taking stuff off the board or holding areas at the right times. And there's all these little intricacies about how you get your objectives to work. You put common objectives out there. So it doesn't have heaps of bells and whistles, and it doesn't have heaps of different ways of scoring.
Yes.
Basically all about the tactical area control. And you can tell that design is really laser focused on that.
Yeah. So Stacey said it's very cool. And is it like my eyes again?
Unconscious Mind.
Consciousness also, that's the other thing that is
that one
fulfilled.
That one fulfilled. Was that for, I think they had...
Thanks for mentioning that, Hannah. Great.
Now that one has been... I've seen a lot of buzz about that one as well. Because I think we live played it about a year ago when it was a...
Correct, yeah.
When it was a prototype. We go back to it.
I remember you had to go to answer the door or something like that, and I made a move and then accidentally cheated, and then I won. I don't know if because of that particular move I won. I was like,
I don't think I've heard that story before.
yes.
Go back and hide that video now.
Yeah, let's do that. So yes, back to Shadow Moon Syndicate. I love the look of the art style. It is a fun one.
Yeah, bright red and yellow. It certainly stands out on the shelf and picks a color palette and a really stark. It's got that almost Blade Runner-y style.
Yes.
With how like everything is
type of
neon
thing.
bright.
Yeah. Well, the chat haven't actually updated it yet, but Imagine Eric said multi-use cards are my love language. Yeah, I love those as well, multi-use cards. It's got like a pretty unique mechanic where you match. There it is, I think. Did it work?
It's coming. It's
coming. Okay, it's not yet. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So let's back to Kickstarter. So that was Sandy Moon Syndicate. Now I'm going to do a test now. Test to Tarrant. So I want you to look at this one, this Kickstarter, and tell me what you think, and if you think it's a good Kickstarter page, and would that get you to back it? Ready? This one. It's Knitting Circle.
It's got a
Feel free to browse.
It's got a cat and yarn and a good color palette there. It mentions...
I think I need to refresh it because it doesn't actually load everything. Yeah.
It mentions Calico and Cascadia, which were quality games there. Rado near the top. So
this is...
You can very much see the Calico in this.
Yeah. So all of these, like we did not play this, we did not back it. I'm just basing this on what I think it looks good, but I'm just going to test it to Terran.
Yeah.
So there's also, of course, you can get Calico as well, mini expansion, and so on. Some people talking about Calico as well. So what do you think of this page? Is it good enough if you are to back it?
I think so.
Yeah. So it says the fact that there's a price $29, like, you know, it looks like Calico. Like from looking at this quickly, do you know what this is? Is this an expansion? Is this another game?
Well, it says Knitting Circle, a Calico game. So I'm going to assume it is a tile placement game that is
right at the top there.
A brand new puzzly tiling Calico game from the team that brought you Calico Cascadian.
Yep. So it's a brand new game. They're using the Calico with the same cat as well. This is great.
Yep.
And it's got knitting, so which is very, very thematic. So let's see what the audience says.
Guessing they are banking on Calico lovers to instaback.
Yeah. It's very nice, bright colors. And Hannah say, must be like so late there, Hannah, like 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I was excited about this one, but decided to skip it. I'm going with Shallow Sea. Well, it's good that you mentioned it because the next one that I want to show you is Shallow Sea.
Yes, this one we have played. This is tile placement game as well. Tile placement has been really so in tile placement has always been an in kind
People's
of thing.
favorite, yeah.
Since Calico and then Cascadia, it really has exploded.
I think tile placement is always in. It's just that which theme is in right now.
Yeah.
Like planting was a couple of years ago, and now it's probably like sea life or nature. I mean, nature is always in type of thing, but like there's birds, there's sea, there's forests and that sort of things, right?
Yeah, this one it takes you in the opposite kind of direction to Calico. In that Calico, you were looking for specific tiles. You were trying to make them into a very specific static pattern. I always found that early on in the game, it was pretty clear what you wanted in each place. Shallow Sea adds...
unregistered pop up. Sorry, everyone. Yes.
Shallow Sea adds tiles that you need. You need to get tiles down and you need to get certain coloured fish next to them to score them, but then you only spend one of the fish to score the tile and then you can swim the other fish around to complete other tiles. So it goes
It's
a little bit.
multi-layered.
Yeah, you've got a lot more drafting options, so it takes it away from the competitive drafting aspect of it and brings it a lot closer to. It brings to more of a personal puzzle style of thing,
Yes.
and you need to be thinking ahead in time about what order you can sequence your fish around in. So that's going to, from a tile placement standpoint, this should appeal greatly to players who love that personal
Puzzle.
Multiplayer solitaire. Not to say that in a
bad way.
a bad way, because many games are. That just is what many games are, and this one has more of that style to it for a tile placement.
Yeah, plus the artwork and the fish is just so cool. I mean, look
you
at
can't
those.
go too far wrong with Nemo
The fish
on
style.
your box.
Yeah, I know.
Finding Nemo really has, brought the clownfish to. It's over 20 years now, but it's just brought that clownfish feels so familiar to people.
Yeah, it's just like a familiarity. Like, oh, Nemo! Like everyone's like screaming, oh my God, Nemo! Like that. So Rado has it. I have it as well somewhere in here. There it is.
Yeah.
In a
snorkeling
suit.
Snorkeling in our studio.
Shh. Just like you removed the movie magic, Taryn. You shouldn't do that. All right, next one is I've got it. Harvest Festival. So this is the expansion of Harvest, the game that we mentioned earlier.
Yes.
It's a very cute game. It's a simple worker placement family game using wheelbarrows to as your worker, and then you basically go to different spots, worker placement style. And there are several spots in one type of action or several type of bunch of actions, but it becomes weaker and weaker. So I like that when it's not completely blocked, but it's still valuable, but it's not as good as the first one, or you might have to pay or something like that.
Yeah, it's a farming game. You buy seeds and buildings with money. You plant them with fertilizer. You water them with water, and there's different ways of getting each of those resources, and you cash all of that stuff in for points when you complete it. So.
Indeed. So
very quick playing.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that looks good. It's really cute, and the designer is the one that designed Train. It was like a while back.
The deck builder.
Yeah. No, not Train, the deck builder. Sorry, Troy. It was Transylvania, not Traintopia. Oh my gosh.
Traintopia.
Is it?
There's a lot of train games out there.
It was like we played it at CanCon for 6 players.
Imperial.
Yeah, sorry. Imperial. It's not a Train something. Thank you, Taryn.
I think we played at 8 players.
Like 8 players? Yeah.
8 plays up to 8. Box is that big.
Yes, it's true. Stacy was like, he's snorkeling in the ocean, Taryn. Thank you, Stacy. I feel like Harvest just landed in our expansion and on Kickstarter. Why not straight to retail? Yeah, I'm not so sure. Maybe they're just trying to kick off the marketing on Kickstarter. Yeah. Do I have anything else? Yes, one more that I'm going to show everybody. And this is the new dice throne. This just keep going, right? Because it's very easy to make the expansion or standalone expansion.
Yeah, it's one of those perfect. It's one of those perfect designs. If you can make a game like that work, then you've got
Unlimited,
expansions for years.
Like unmatched as well.
Yeah.
You can just get whatever characters you want. Bruce Lee. Do they have Jack Skellington? That would be good.
Don't think I've seen that.
Okay, yeah, and match is a
different
battle game. A different game again.
Dice Throne. So
they have 1.4 million Australian dollars. Like. Yeah.
Yep, it is. I always call the game Battle Yahtzee. That's how I see the game,
actually.
And it is it takes that. There's so many games that have been influenced by.
I shouldn't do that.
So many games that have been influenced by Yahtzee. It's been such a simple and clever mechanism that just works so well. And obviously King of Tokyo and that series has taken it, and then Dice Throne has taken it in a battle context and trying to roll those combinations, use the cards to mitigate. It's a nice game.
Yeah. Stacey, I'm gonna go back to chat overlay. Yeah, that was where is it? Did somebody special just arrive? No! Somebody join us. And Imagine Eric said, any interest in I Made You a Mixtape by Mike Delicio and Dan Hughes? Looks like a fun I Split You Choose game with a unique theme. Mike actually mentioned this at Essence Spiel, or was it Gen Con? I think it was Gen Con. And I didn't know that was actually on right now. Let's just open it because we like Mike.
Yeah, I've started to see that one hitting the buzz.
Yeah. I Made You, what is it called? I Made You a Mixtape? Oh no. A
mixtape.
Oh no. Did I? Oh, there it is. There it is. All right. Yeah. Oh, that's good. I was doing well.
Yep, that retro style.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get mixtapes these days, and it's just not as romantic to make someone a Spotify playlist.
It was, yeah, I know. Just like so different now, isn't it? Yeah. He showed me or he told me that he's got that coming. It must, and now it's on. So this is cool. And this is it's very retro. Oh yeah, I'll have a look into that. Thanks for mentioning this, Imagine Eric. So I'll have a look later.
Yeah.
So that is it. Now we share our top games, Taryn.
Yes.
It is time.
Top 10 games each of September and October combined. So I think, to preface it, so obviously we've got a lot of games that have come out of Essen, but we kind of alluded to it through there. We haven't played a lot of the big Euro releases yet. We've had this odd laser focus on all the two-player games that came out.
Yeah.
So there were so many designed two-player games that were released this year. That's really kind of the theme of things, and we have
a lot of two-player.
A lot of them looked really interesting, and I do like a good two-player dual game. So we've you'll probably see a higher proportion of that than common, because that's a big part of what we've played.
We are going to do two-player games videos, so watch out for that. So the two-player games, it's kind of like in right now. This two-player Everdell.
Yep, Everdell Duo a couple of months ago, and lots of You'll see many of the great two-player games about to come.
Yes. So let's do this, Tarrant.
Yep. And as usual, this is new to us for September and October, not necessarily new releases. We've come by the games in various forms. We've done paid work on some of them, but this is our personal review and opinion.
Yeah. So the chat doesn't actually refresh as quick as I want it to be. But Hannah say, have you watched Agatha all along? We are in the middle of it.
Yes. Walking down the road.
Oh, we can't sell spoilers, Darren. Tasty asked to play again, definitely feel a nice niche. That's correct. All right.
And I wonder if it's because you had the big board game boom of new players over the last decade, and maybe a lot of those couples like us who got together are now settling down and needing the two-player niche.
Probably. Like remember,
might be reading too much into it.
Well, remember Roll and Write?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a niche and a boom, and then now
there's boomed.
Yeah, the boomed. Boom.
In the past tense.
Yeah, in the past tense, boomed. So yes, we are going to have a two-player games video. So we're still putting things together. So watch out for that. Hopefully, Benzin say good two-player games recommendation would be good. My wife and I find it so hard to get time to play with others. Yep, we understand that as well.
All right, who's going to go first? Probably me.
Are you?
Looking at how it lays out, we'll go with me. So my number 10 game for the last 2 months was Tower Up.
So do I need to do this? Oh, Stella desktop doesn't have anything.
You've got something to show, right?
Yeah, okay, well, there you go.
There we go. So Tower Up, it's one of those...
That's my shorts that I haven't published.
It's one of those interesting games where it's a layout placement type of game, and you're putting these building pieces down. Every turn, you have to start a new building of one of 4 colors and then pay for it by building up every adjacent building with its matching color. And then you cap one of the buildings with your roof and score some points based on how tall the building you capped was. So it's this game that it has no thematic basis. It's a very abstract kind of game, but it has these interesting, very interesting things to think about. Where can you place so that you're going to control that at the end of the game? So you block it off from the other player filling it up. You earn the pieces that you put down through cards, so you can watch what pieces your opponent has and then try to make moves that they can't counteract. So it's, in that little abstract space, it's very clever.
Very clever game, yeah. It's a very great game. I picked it up at Gen Con this year. So that's Tower Up. We try to move on a little bit earlier, a bit quick now.
Yeah.
Mine is, which one is that, Taryn? And I have to find the button for it.
It's the one with the short name.
Yeah, okay, this one. Ito! So this is a kind of like re-implementation from a game 5 years ago. I played it at Essenspiel at a meetup. And this is a social game, party game. It plays 10 players. I think the more you play with, the better. And this is where I feel like if you know the players, the people that you're playing with is better, because the prompts are this is a cooperative game. You got given secret numbers from 1 to 99. And then you need to arrange, basically cooperatively, you need to arrange the numbers from lowest to highest. The way you do that is you've been given a prompt in a game. Let's say the prompt would be like something weird. Something weird that you would say, or something weird that the person to the left would say. So I would say, let's say if I have number 1 being not weird, or something really weird, number 99 that you get. Let's say I've got number 1, and then to the left of me, let's say it's Tarrant. I would say, hey, my name is Tarrant, and I put it down the number, and I put my player color down. And then the person next to me, let's say it's Taryn, you have, I don't know, somebody next to you. And you would say something that is, let's say if you get number 99. So you must think of something that person say that is really weird, and then you put it to the right of my card.
Yes.
So you have to like arrange the cards in that way. It's really fun. It's really fun in 10 player.
Yeah, it's kind of, I've heard it described as a mix between wavelength and timeline, or maybe wavelength and illusion, where you're trying to use responses to prompts.
Yes.
To then secretly put stuff in order. So I haven't played this one, actually.
Okay.
We split off
Yes.
when you played this game and I played another.
Yes. And then next is Terrence.
My number 9, as I look to remember what it was. Yes, we go into, so this is a 2-player game, which is called Balconia.
There you go. This is an Essen.
Yep, so they had this at Essen. I think they were looking, I don't think it was out, right? No. They were looking for a co-publisher.
Correct.
It's actually the first time I've seen a box that has like spaces on it. But this is it's a game where you are trying to, it's a 3D game, as you can see in the pictures. You're trying to build up a network of what will ultimately be 14 apartments in that 5x5 grid. And it is an I split you choose kind of 2-player game. So you are given one of the apartment blocks that you get randomly. It has 4 sides. You pick which 2 sides could be yours and which 2 sides could be your opponent's. And then your opponent chooses which of the 2 sides they've been given that they want to keep, and therefore which one you get, because it's on the opposite side, and they choose where to put it. So it's got this really clever thing where you're trying to work out what objective and layout works best for you, what objective and layout doesn't work best for your opponent, and you have to build up a grid in such a way that you've got a lot of influence over how your opponent scores. It's a very clever, I think it's a very clever design. I haven't seen anything that really uses the 3D element of it very cleverly. It if it has a flaw, it's that you either need to keep a memory of what's on the other player's side, or you just need to play it on a lazy Susan so you can keep rolling it around and checking.
Yeah.
And you could agree to play the game in either way. You could either agree to play it by memory so that you've got to try to do your best to remember what's on the other side, or you could play it so that you can permanently check.
I like the second option.
So I think by tile placement standards and something that uses that sort of 3D layout as a key part of the game and not as a gimmick, and the fact that it feels like you're building up an apartment block. So I think it's a very clever game.
It is a very clever one. I totally enjoy that as well. Because we do the second option, I'm like, what was that? And I have to keep looking. I mean, I think using Lazy Susan might probably be helpful if you have memory like me. Like, what was that one? What did I put there? Like, it's very clever. I split you choose. I always like I split you choose. I mean, the mixtape also, it was mentioned that it was I split you choose. She's probably like really look into that one. And that is also has got that element.
Yeah. I will say I don't always love I split you choose. I've
Right.
seen a number of those. It can work really well, and it can, bog down the game and give you a poor illusion of choice. But I think it works very well in Balconia.
That's
And I
right.
hope they find a co-publisher and get it broadly released.
Somebody commented on my Instagram post that they say that they have found a few. So that's really good.
Excellent.
So there's a comment here that Pagan Fate of Run the Coast is a good two-player game. Also, we played that. We played that when they were on Kickstarter, before they was on Kickstarter, and that's really good.
Yep, asymmetrical two-player card game.
Yes. And then there's Dracula versus Van Helsing in Flatiron, which is...
I haven't heard of the first one. Flatiron was a new release at Essen.
You might see it soon. You might not. We'll see. Stacey is correct. I think it was Aris Games that's going to publish it. Right. The next one is mine.
Your number 9.
My number 9. Let's see what I have here, Taryn. Da 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 da. Duck and Cover. Now, if Hannah is still around, we play this at Essen Spiel at our meet and greet. And this is a very fun game. They have the best marketing geek at Essen, a guy in the bathtub with lots of duck around it. So this is a very simple game. It plays up to 7 players. And with expansion, you can play up to 9 players, which we did.
Yep.
There's a stack of cards that gets revealed each time, and there's a number. So backtrack. The idea is to have the least points. So let me just show this again. There's a stack of cards that has got numbers. So whenever that number gets revealed, everyone gets to move that number, or it's stacked to the next number. Or if nothing's next to it, you can move it to next to something else. I mean, or you can just move it anywhere if there is a number next to it. So whoever's got the least point wins. You can see on top of the cards there's a point there, so bottom right, I think. Yep. And that's the point that you get. If you make it down to the last stack, then that's negative point, which is good.
Yes, you can. So you get in this
quack quack.
You get in this situation where you can either just go conservatively and cover up all of your high-scoring cards as quickly as you can, or if you can get it down to a single stack with a high-scoring card on it, you're risking being left with that high-scoring card if you don't get it down to a single stack. But if you get it there, then you get a huge number of points off and a big step towards victory.
Yeah, so if one player gets down to 1 stack, then the game, that's the end of the rounds. The game goes for 3 rounds, really, but you can play as many as you want. Or if all the quack cards, like everyone's quacking and then no more cards in the captain pile, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's the end of the round.
Yeah, this is on Board Game Arena now, and every so often it just goes in this big run where it just my phone just quacks at me because like eight cards will quack out in a row.
Yes, we should probably continue that. I think I've finished the first game, which I won. Have a different strategy, which I'm not going to tell you. No, I'm kidding. That's my number 9. Terrence number 10. Sorry, Terrence number 8.
So my number 8. Have you released?
No, I haven't actually released a video.
This is a prototype that we've played that I don't know if it's out there in the world very much at all. This is a game that is colourfully called Vomitland. Mm-hmm. And it's set in the concept is that you're at a theme park and it's a push your luck game where you're trying to spend as long on the roller coaster as you can. And if you get off at the right time, then you get to pick cards that were drawn from that roller coaster, and you're trying to set collect with the cards you collect from the roller coaster. But if you push it too far, then the title of the game comes to fruition, and you don't get anything out of it. And then it's got this little worker placement element where you can go to the souvenir shop and get helpful things that will help you in the push your luck. You've got the bathrooms where you can reduce your nausea level, and so. Yeah, as Stacey alludes in the chat, it's a colourful name,
Yes.
and who knows, that that may or may not appeal to all. But I think it's a very
It's a fun push your luck game.
yeah, and it's not just as the game pans out, it actually balances everything really nicely. You've got times where you need to push to collect the highest scoring sets because you're racing for some set collection objectives. You're trying to get standard sets that will score you points, and you do lose points at the end of the game every time you pushed too far. And it ends up being this really tight little balance that works pretty well.
Yeah, and that is like I feel slightly nausea. No, I'm kidding. But yes, there's a video coming out, my short and sweet video coming up, so watch out for that jingle. It's really bad, but it's there. Anyways, almost there. That is yours.
My number 8.
Your number 8. My number 8 is, well, not Vomitland. Something that you've seen. So what Taryn said. I also thoroughly enjoy Balconia. It's such a clever game. I've already say why I like it.
And you can see there that little disc that you put the thing on. It's got these. They've cleverly thought out how to maintain things. That disc is where you put it on, and the two that's on your coloured side are the ones that you can choose from. And so you're not going to have a lot of, as long as you follow the process correctly, you're not going to get confused in the game.
That's correct. All right, next one, Taryn. That's a nice and quick one. What your number 7 is?
My number 7 is a game that I think came out late last year, and we got it first played in September.
Yeah, very gorgeous.
And it is Life of the Amazonia. And it is fundamentally, it has a Cascadia tile placement feel with an altiplano engine.
Yeah.
That to me is the simplest way to think of the game. You're trying to build up a network of different types of
animals,
landscapes.
Kind of like tile placement as well in a way.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have to purchase and place animals on them, and the animals, you're laying them out in various different configurations to score the optimal points for that. But everything you're doing, all the things you're buying, all the points and tracks you're going up and gaining, the engine builds you can get, because you can have things where you can store more tiles or draw more tiles and things like that. Very altiplano, and it clicks very well. So I think they've done a good job.
And also the 3D presence as well.
That is my one complaint, because that thing does not fit in the box. It doesn't fit in the box with one fold down. You kind of have to break it back apart to get it in the box. I don't like that.
Yeah, but
other than that,
it's a great game. Look at that.
Have we even put it back in the box, or is it
still half
still half open? That is a real frustration. But it plays really well, and it hits that same way. It hits the same, or maybe slightly
beautiful components,
lower
like beautiful
point than Altiplano.
Yeah, and
it comes well
it's a little bit complex than Cascadia. Those are the things that you can buy for engine build to make your action stronger, and that's like upgraded components that we have. The version with upgraded components. All right, my next one, my number 7 is. I should do a better job in this one. Now I have to find it where it is. Okay, here it is with buttons. King of Tokyo Duel. We played it on the sofa. King of Tokyo Duel is a 2-player version of King of Tokyo. You still get to choose the animals, but instead of the traditional game, this is where you need, it's like a tug of war. You see those two things, the red and the blue? What is it called?
See those two
things. You need to get those things into your area by pulling it into your area. So you play cards, you roll the dice to do that. And if you get both of them in your spotlight area, then you win, or one of them at the end of that track on your area, then you win. And it's like, it's downtime. There's almost no downtime because your turns are quick, and then because of 2 players, it's like your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn. You get to see what the other players are doing as well.
Yeah, standard King of Tokyo engine. You try to roll 3 of the ones that give you points, and everyone above 3 lets you pull it further. It speeds up the way the cards come into the game, because if you don't buy a card, you get an extra energy. I think that was, I don't know if they ever added that to one of the other King of games, but that helps to make sure players are getting upgrades quickly, and it causes a little bit of havoc. Players have individual player powers as well. So you get quite into it, and it's snappy, and it is a good implementation of
King of Tokyo.
King of Tokyo and King of New York. I think
King
it mixes.
Of New York, that's right, yeah.
It mixes a bit from New York in, not the huge amount of chaos that New York has. And
also, you can still try to reduce opponents' health. Same with that. There you go. Thank you for recommendation. It's another 2-player game. Well, stay tuned. You may or may not hear more 2-player game. All right. Next one is for you, Taryn.
Up to me. This is my number 6. This is a 2-player game. This was probably the heaviest or most gamer 2-player game that came out in Essen. It came out, I think, only in German, but there's a English, I mean, it's language independent, but I think they didn't have the English rulebooks one yet. I am waffling. It is Sunavalo.
It's a beautiful game by Oda, which is also the publisher, the games builder. We've got our friends out the front. You can see that. You can hear it.
Yeah, so from the game builder, it's set in the same universe as Planta Nubo, which came out last year. And this is at its core, it's a little tableau builder where when you add a new card to a column, you activate the column, but there's also benefits for filling in rows. So it's all about, that sounds simple, and you're getting resources and then have limited storage and spending them on contracts. That bit sounds simple, but it really hits a great 2-player. The biggest thing with 2-player is you want your actions to have a real influence on your opponent.
Yes.
And in this one, it's all about the card economy.
I'm going to put it again.
Every time you gain a card every turn, you can buy a card from your board or from your opponent's board or from the middle, and then you refill wherever you bought from. Every time you add a card to your board, you have to set its price with your own resources. And if you end up buying it, you pay those resources, so you're pre-setting how much you're going to pay. If your opponent buys it from you, then they have to pay you what price you set. And if you want to top deck it from the middle of the board, it comes with a +3 price tag on its minimum price. So you're constantly looking around at what is the value of this for me? What is the value of this for my opponent? And trying to set it. And from there, you're accumulating points. So that is exactly the sort of 2-player mechanism that I like to see.
I know. And as Stacey said, this is tight, 2-player, and crunchy. Yeah, it's definitely one great game. I may mention this later. We'll see.
We'll see.
But yeah, recommend it. Sunavalo. That was your 6th turn.
Yes.
Well, my next one is not something that you haven't seen before. It's Tower Up. Tower Up was on Terran's number 10, and it is my number 6. Great game, great simple turns. You either take a resource or put buildings. That's it. So I love that. It's like simple actions, but then there's so much strategy. Like you have to make sure you have certain pieces and color pieces, and then just different layer of strategies that you discover as you play the game. Like when you need to block opponents, I would probably make a good 2-player games as well for Tower Up. So there you go, another recommendation. Back to you again, Taryn.
My number 5 is one that we've seen before as well. So it is Duck and Cover.
Yeah.
And the game, whenever I've tried to explain Duck and Cover to people, I pitch it as it's at the same level as Llama. which was was it a Knizia game? I think it was. It was Llama was a very light game from about 4 or 5 years ago, and it sits at that level. It's the sort of thing that is fun for gamers to play as a filler, but it could also be a really popular game at an Uno level for family, young children who are just coming to terms with how to play games. You don't have very much decision space. You don't have a huge amount of control over what you're doing, but there's enough little thinky things to do. And then everyone's quacking around the table.
Yeah.
And it's snappy and goes through in 3 turns. So it has, perfect level of those simple decisions for a game at that level.
Definitely we'll be bringing that to board game meetups when we have board game meetups. Hopefully we're going to CanCon. PlayCon. I'm going to PlayCon. I don't know about Taryn. CanCon, it will be something that I would want to bring in and play with people. Hey, yes, we're back doing lives. We'll see how it goes. This is going to be live maybe monthly for our vlog, but or could be other things as well that we want to talk about. But it's just glad to be live and then chat in live with you all. All right, we go to the next one, Taryn.
Yes, this is your number 5.
Yeah, my number 5. Where's that button? Is it correct? Yeah, okay. Okay, right. My number 5 is this is a new introduction to this one.
Yep.
Not recycle. Well, I'm looking for the thing.
So this is it's not a new game. It's a game they were selling at their booth. I think it was about 3 years ago.
It's Doodle Dash. It's a party game, and we played this with Hannah as well at the meetup. Hannah was there? I don't know. And that's Taryn looking guilty, showing his drawings, and no one would understand that. Maybe not. This is a party game where one person know what it is. Sorry, one person does not know what it is, and they're guessing, and the rest of the people trying to make that person who doesn't know it guess by drawing as fast as possible. So the one that finished first get to show their drawing first, and then the second person, and then if that doesn't get guessed, and then the second person gets to show their drawing, and then so on. And then if not, then everyone else show their drawing. But the second person who finished it grab the dice and then keep rolling until it rolls certain symbol, and everyone has to stop.
Yep. So it creates this urgency of having to draw quickly.
Well, Stacey guessed it. Must have been that bad.
Yeah.
Not that bad.
I think we have spoken about that drawing on previous videos,
probably.
so I don't know if she had an inside line to that.
Taryn accused you of cheating. Sorry, Stacey.
It does. Yeah, sorry, that was mean of me, wasn't it?
Yes.
Not accusing. Oh, that's guilty laugh.
Guilty laugh. Somebody guessed it. That's the point. So yeah, very fun party game. So
they're small. They're small.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you the next one. You ready?
Okay. What is it? Number 4 for me.
Yes, number 4.
So number 4 for me is another 2-player game. This is it's a game by Broadway Toys. So it is a dual language there. This is called This Bed Is Mine.
Correct.
And it is...
It's a 2-player game.
2-player game. Just an incredibly clever idea. Your cats and dogs, thematically your cats and dogs trying to control as much of the bed as possible, but your cats and dogs in the shape of the 9 digital clock numbers from 1 to 9. And essentially it's like fences or Go, in that you're putting your pieces on the board and you're trying to fence off areas either between player pieces or the wall, and then any fenced off area that is bigger than 1 by 1 ends up being given to the player whose sum of their numbers that make up the fences is biggest. So if I've got, if we've closed off a little area and I've got a 7 and 8 on my that have formed it, and you've got a 1 and a 3, then I win that area, and I get my points are based on how many area pieces it is. Incredibly simple idea, and it's almost like it's one of these funny things where
Just feeling like two-player strategy pieces, but not moving piece, but placing piece.
Yeah. It's like the game, it's like an idea that they just made into a game and then it sets its own strategy. I love the fact that as you get into the game and the board gets really tight, your most powerful piece ends up being the 7 because you can like slot it into places that all the other, like 7 and 1 and to a lesser extent 4, because they're smaller numbers, you can slot them in where all the other pieces won't fit. And so 7 ends up being super powerful because it's a high number and you can thread it in and you can like take a big section and split it into 2 little sections that your 7 counts to both of them.
Very special puzzle there.
Yeah. I think it's just, it hits that Orion Duel level of quick 2-player thinky. I think it's great.
Yeah. That's Orion Duel. I love that game as well. All right, let's move on to mine.
You're what, number 4?
Yeah, I was like looking, where were they up to? Yes. Number 4. Oh, by the way, hello, everyone who just joined. Electric Camel, you made it. Woo! Hey. We've got number 4, which is what you've heard before. The same game.
Life of the Amazonian.
I like it slightly better than Taryn likes it, all right? It's a gorgeous component. It's like every single animal, to add to what Taryn already said, gorgeous animals, different type of animals, and they have different objectives, each animals. Like you can flip those cards as well, and then you have different objective, how you score that particular animal. So it's really good. Stacey. Well, I guess I need to check it out on the Amazon. Have you checked out Shallow Sea from the same people? Yes, we talked about Shallow Sea earlier. It is on Kickstarter right now. And the Meeple are very good. Very, very pretty game. And that sort of like, I think if you like Live on Amazon, and you may like Shallow Sea, or you like Altiplano, as you say, Altiplano and Cascadia. Thank you. We talk about other games as well now. We keep talking about other games. All right, Taryn.
Okay. My number 3, recently mentioned, is Doodle Dash. Yes. I am an absolute sucker for a good drawing party game. They're my favorite sorts of party games.
True.
And this worked very well. It appeals to me in being able to draw quickly and to try to figure out what is the simplest way I can get my point across. So I had a lot of fun playing this game. If there's one thing I worry about, I did a lot of the quickest drawings. I was very conscious of that as I was playing, and I worry that some of the players who never did the quickest drawings may not have been having as much fun as me.
Yeah.
And so I would possibly house rule it where I had more guesses and fewer drawers, just to make sure you've got the chance to like be the quickest a bit more often. That was just my one thing coming through the game, but I definitely had a lot of fun playing it. Yep. Love drawing games.
That's okay. On that. Let me tell you a comment. We had fun laughing at you with your.
Oh yeah, drawing. No, I lost. I lost outright, and no one could ever guess what I drew. And I couldn't guess what anyone else drew for some reason. But
you had fun.
I did have a lot of fun, but that was the one thing I was conscious of.
Okay, and creates a good story afterwards. I think that makes it a good game.
Yes.
Don't you agree?
Yep, and you got that was a very good photo of me looking guilty with my flying saucer.
That's true. I had to memorize that. Have to share it around.
Yeah. I didn't draw the second line of it very well. I was like, I can do this quickly. The second line was like wobbled all over.
And then just grab the cylinder. I can't wait to play a game with you both in person. Oh, Stacey, I would love to play games with you in person one day. That's what I'm going to do. That's why I'm going to try to do the Discord if I ever come to the board game convention, and trying to schedule a game, a meetup, and so on. All right, now it's on my number 3. And this is also another 2-player game. This is called Flatiron. This is by the famous duo designer, Isra and Shay, which designed White Castle, Red Cathedral, and so on. Really lovely couple. I've met them a few times at Essenspiel. Yeah. This is about together. This is a 2-player competitive game, but together shared incentive to build Flatiron building. And you see those 4 cards around, that's a worker placement space where you can game the cards and put it and tuck it under your own board for engine build. Or you can go there not buying cards and do the action on your board on the engine build that you previously built.
Previously built.
Thank you. So those are the components we have. They have to play here. Oh, by the way, we have some of these games. We have the tutorial or other videos in there, so look it up. I haven't actually published Sunafalo videos yet, but Flatiron I have. Really, Stacy, really tight, and it's simpler than Sunafalo. It's not as crunchy, but it's really tight and it's really good. And again, this is one game that you play it and you realize, yes, you can do that. There's this layer of strategy you can do. You can just not move, or you can just block the space where your opponent has got a great engine to build on their board, things like that.
Yeah, you're wandering around at the start getting cards and building up an engine, and how much you can, it might be that players have completely built their engines and then start building the tower, or maybe you build as you go. And it kind of depends what's out there on the board and responding to how other players are doing for what you do.
Yeah, very great game. And then your next one, number 2, Taryn, is?
My number 2, does anyone know about this game?
It is on Kickstarter, but we're not a designer.
Yep.
Dan Cesar.
Dan Cassar, yeah. So this is a game called Mischief. And this is a card game. It's by the designer of Arboretum, and it very much shows it's by the designer of Arboretum. It takes the same hand versus
hand
table
management,
option.
Yeah.
So Arboretum, it proved to be a very popular game over what is almost 10 years now. And in Arboretum, you're building up your own personal little map to try to create runs of scores in different colors. But you also had to hold enough of those cards in your hand, because you only score the run of a color if you had the most cards of that color. Sorry, the highest sum of cards of that color, unless you only had the 0 or the 1. So it had this careful thing, and everyone, there's comments, is it punishingly difficult? It's the angry tree game. It's the mean tree game. That's Arboretum's reputation.
Yes, that's true.
Now Mischief. See, I'd heard that reputation for Arboretum, and once I came to play it, I was like, yeah, the hand management side of things is fine, but I'm also kind of just building my own forest here off by myself. It wasn't that hard to work out where to place the cards. So Mischief takes your personal forest and turns it into this collective central area where everyone is setting the values of the same of the different suits.
I think it's less mean than Arboretum.
It's less direct. I don't know. It's less. You still end up in the same position where the points you are hoping to get can go away if the cards in your hand are beaten by the cards in someone else's hand.
Sorry, I distribute.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it has this whole. The rules make people's heads spin when you try to explain them, because each color has a light suit and a dark suit, and how it scores depends on the cards on the table and in everyone's hand and in your own hand. And as you play through the game, you can discard cards that may make it score in one way. You can protect cards that may stop people from discarding them. So for me, it's this extra thinky version of Arboretum. I say very, very much the same hand management thing. I think it's less immediately accessible than Arboretum, but I think among gamers it should overtake it. I think it's a better overall game. And
what we show you is a prototype. So it was on Kickstarter, or will be on Kickstarter, and that was there's some graphical things that they're going to change, but it is kind of Arboretum, but I think it's better than Arboretum. It's less mean than Arboretum, but it's a head spin to begin with. Slightly, just slightly. Because there's
Yeah, less mean in that you're not going to hold a card just to stop someone else from scoring. You're more likely to hold it. You'll
So
still
you
stop
score,
them from scoring, but it will also
less,
be to try to swing an objective to make you score.
That's correct, yeah. I haven't heard of Poltergeist.
That's the movie where
Is that a movie? Headspin.
Or Exorcist.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Creepy movies with
Oh
spinning heads.
no! Tarrant, it's now my number 2.
Your number 2.
Well, you've seen this before. It's Snowfellow.
Yes.
Snowfellow is, again, I like this better than Tarrant likes it. Exorcist. Yeah, that's okay, Stacey. All good.
Well,
yes.
it's higher on your list than it is on mine. It doesn't mean you like it more.
Excuse me. Yes. So this is a very, no, that's okay. I'm okay. Thank you. Really crunchy game, 2 players. Order fulfillment as well, which kind of like, and then one thing that I don't know if you mentioned it, the resource management is really clever and really tight. Really tight.
Yep.
Have you mentioned this?
Not specifically.
Yeah. That's so you kind of like you're getting card on your tableau, and then you activate everything that's you already placed in your tableau. So there's like 6 slots, or do an action that is on the tableau. The more cards you have, the stronger you are. And then you'll be like, hang on, is that not generalization? You want to specify. What is the word? Specialization. But hang on, you got like pretty good reward if you get multiple cards. So the same, that row has got fill out with different cards, like a variety of cards, then you get reward. But anyways, not only that, you activate everything on your tableau on that column, but you must, or you don't have to, but it's best if you can, you are able to do the action. Either you chain a bunch of action that you can do, or when it's producing, like most of them are producing something, that make sure you can hold them in your storage, because those cards that you use to produce also the cards that lets you keep the resources in. So there's no point in when you have something so powerful, but you haven't actually spent it yet on contracts and so on, and you can't hold them. You can hold them, and it's a waste of action. That's really good. That's Snowfellow.
Yeah, you need to keep balancing between gaining stuff, spending stuff on contracts, and as you do the contracts, you gradually start to upgrade your board in different ways.
Yeah, very good. That is it. Okay. Now this is before we mention our number 1, I want to quickly thank you for everyone who joined us in this live stream. We haven't live streamed for a while, so in different spot as well. So thank you so much for joining us.
That comment has no context.
Yeah, I know. I was just like clicking, and I can't see it.
Get out of my forest, or I'll crush you.
Welcome back. Thank you, Akinum. Good to see you back. We're going to remind you of the giveaway. It's not going to be something that we are going to stream. So we're going to draw right now, but you got a week to enter by writing comments. So not in the chat, but in the comments.
Yep, jump in the comments, write anything you want there, and you will go in the running.
Somebody said anything you want.
Double vote, double options. Right, whatever you want. Nice is preferable, and you'll go in the draw to win a copy of Beyond the Horizon, the spiritual success. It's more closely related than a spiritual successor. Almost a re-implementation of Beyond the Sun, with thanks to Cranio Creations.
So how it works, you comment, and then I will reply to your comments after 1 week from this stream. And then you got another week to reply, and then we organize Cranio Creations to send you vote. So this game is actually running out in the stock, almost going to be sold out. And when I asked them to kindly please give us the giveaway, they're like, yep, I'm going to hold one for you. Like, please hold one for me. I'm going to do it this weekend. Yep, I can hold them for you. I can send somebody worldwide. So please do enter. 1 week to enter, and just by writing the comments.
Yep. As Imaginary said, this is it has a more appealing visual, and it takes out an aggressive part and makes it more Euro. So it's definitely going to appeal more to some and less to others.
Yes.
And that's actually been pretty even as we
Yeah.
talk to people about Beyond the Horizon and explain what's different. Some are like, oh, they've made it more Euro. And some are like, oh, that's good. It takes
Yeah.
out the one thing that would. So,
Yeah.
different. That's
Yes.
That's why this is a review, and you could disagree with us entirely.
Yes, absolutely
everyone has-
agree with your
there's-
disagreement and
There's a
agreement.
person out there for every game.
Yes, I agree. I believe in that. And Miles, hi Miles, very kind of you in Cranio. Yay! I think a few people has mentioned when you're gonna go live again. It might be Miles one of them. So here we are. Hey! Oh my gosh! Welcome back, Taryn and Stella. Oh, thank you so much, Aline. Great to see you here. Should I say?
It's up to you.
Hi, Aline. Well, you say it. It's a family member of us, a very
Yes.
well-respected family member.
Yes.
We all miss your playthrough. Oh, yes. So I don't know if I'm going to do playthrough again, but we definitely will. We'll do things like this.
We'll appear. We'll
Things
at
like
least do
this.
things like this and
Yes.
see where it takes us.
All right. Now,
Number
number
one.
one.
Number one. So we'll go my number one first.
Yeah.
And for me, the top one I played over this time is Flatiron. So I already
Heard of this
mentioned
before.
we've spoken there. The couple of things that I really like. Firstly, it's the sort of theme I love, like industry building, this old kind of. The Flatiron just is such an attractive building to look at. So when I saw it on the cover of a box with a yellow and purple, like this sort of just the color palette as well really appeals to me. So that in its own right, I mean, look how cool building the Flatiron Tower is.
It is cool.
But yeah, from a two-player duel game, you've got that personal element of building up your own engine, but you watch what
This
your
one.
opponent does. As you mentioned, it's about blocking. You can block out spaces, and you can also really work the timing of the game.
Yeah.
A lot of your points come from placing pillars onto buildings, and they have to all go onto a level in different colors, and placing the floors. And when you're doing those are your major sources of points. You're also trying to get a few endgame objectives, and so working out how to time the actions
Yeah.
to get the most points is an interesting thing. And it has that Mexican standoff going on. Not Mexican. It can't be a Mexican standoff because it's a two-player game. It has
I
that.
don't even know what that is.
It has that standoff type of thing where you both don't want to. You both may not want to do the next pillar because that will trigger a good action for your opponent. So you just kind of dance around the point for a while until it just doesn't make sense to do that anymore.
Yeah. It's
So I
sometimes-
like that timing
Yes.
and that anticipation that comes with the game.
There's a lot of the range duel. Like you don't want to take that card so your opponent get it. You get the one behind it. I mean, we didn't play it last month, so it might be in this month's top games. That is your number one, and
That is my
number
number.
one. My number one, Taryn. What is my number one?
What?
It is something new. We haven't talked about this one before.
Correct?
It's Civolution. Civolution is my number one game. It is a civilization game. I love civilization game. It's not that aggressive. There are 22 different actions that you do. So I'm just like looking at this board right now. It's just like, no, that's okay. I'll just leave it. Leave it. It's right in front of us.
Yes.
So the 22 different actions, and it's upgradable actions. So you can upgrade them, and you can make them more powerful, and you trigger the actions by placing the dice. Now, hang on. For you who thinks about dice rolls, like, oh, dice rolls, lots of ways to mitigate. I first thought, oh, the dice roll is very, I don't get the things that I want to do, but lots of mitigation and lots of way to actually upgrade your mitigation action. Even like your mitigation action is upgradable. There are lots of things you can do, lots of end game objectives. You building your tableau, your engine building, and there are, what do you call it? What's the word? Objectives, like a contract thing that you're trying to achieve as well.
Yeah, there's nine basic ways that you can score. So there's 5 tracks. Any good civilization game will have tracks. There's a few map types of objectives.
And there's the resources there you're looking at.
Yep, and they'll score at the end of the game, but there'll be 4 of them that will randomly score at the end of each round. So everyone targets those to get points. There'll be a couple that score extra at the end of the game. And you definitely can't get everything done. It is
definitely. Like,
you've got 4 eras, and it's unlikely that you're not going to finish everything.
No.
You could play 5 eras, and a lot of games end 1 round before you would finish everything. I feel like this one ends a couple of rounds before you would finish everything.
I think so too. So the dice all the dice that you have, you can gain extra dice if you want, but then if your opponent is doing the dice gaining action, that means if there's no dice in the supply because they are limited, then they gain your dice. So there's this interaction as well between the players, and you need to have 2 dice to activate an action. So each action has got different dice requirements. So you need 1 and 1, 1 and 2. So every combination of dice, 1 or 3, 6 and except 6 and 6, I think.
No, 6 and 6 is there. It gives you an eyeball.
Oh, okay, right. Oh, yes. So different combination. Yeah.
Technically, it's vision.
It's visions, okay. Yes, there is like a lot of things, a lot of... this is actually not a very complex game. It's just that a lot of different actions that you do. Like everything is kind of like self-explanatory, almost.
Yeah, every action is simple. It's just...
I pressed the wrong button. That's it, noob.
Yeah, every action's simple except that there's 22 of them.
That's correct.
It looks like there's lots of different ways to go. You've got... One thing I would like to try at some point is like completely populating the map. Because in early plays, I just haven't had enough food, and I've ended with like barely anyone on the map. But you have... Yeah, like one game I ended with 2 people on the map, but you've got 20 pieces. I want to try to like get 20 and then try to feed them all. Yes. So it looks like that, lots of different paths you can take depending on what's going to score.
Sounds like it's a good board game arena game if you first familiar with the action first. And then board game arena would remind you what actions there are as well. And you can just try different games. Like at the moment we're trying a Terraforming Mars, a very different Terraforming Mars game where everyone's just like you and me, we both doing the plant action, and then no one's increasing the temperature, no one's just putting the oceans.
Yeah, I reckon we're going to cover Mars in a 2-player game. I've never seen anything close to that before.
Yeah, so
and I'm going to finish with like 50 income.
Yeah, probably.
Plus 50 money.
So I feel like Civolution is one of those games that would have lots of things that you want to try. That you want to try that, like, I want to try different actions. Like Karen said, there's so many things you can do. There's no way you can do different action. As noobs, we try to do as many actions as possible. Obviously, it didn't work. Our score didn't get too high. But yeah, this is like an amazing one. I love the comments. If I play this with my wife, who suffers from AP, it would be a 12-hour game. Yeah, setup time is quite a lot. How long did you take to set up the game, Taryn?
Well, I reckon the first time I set it up, it probably took me an hour.
Yes.
Working out what I had to sort out, because 21 upgradable actions all come with these little chits that have to be 1 per player per thing and go in the right slots. But once you've got them all split out into their boxes, it's not too bad.
Yep. So that's it. Our top games. This time we're doing it live. We'll see how it goes. If you like it or not, let us know in the comments, and don't forget to enter by commenting on this video, not the chat, the comments, and we'll draw it in 1 week. Make sure you check it back as well. Maybe your names get picked randomly, and you got a week after the draw to get back to us to claim the prize and Cranio Creations to send beyond the horizons. Hopefully you have a wonderful weekend, wonderful day, and have a great, safe weekend. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
I haven't actually do a button for the end one. I'm kidding. I got it. Kidding. Thank you so much, everyone, for seeing you, chatting with you, and we'll see you next time, hopefully. And we're back for a secret ending. For those of you who are familiar with this, I don't know if you are already gone or you are waiting for it anyways.
Yeah,
Welcome.
no one was like waiting for the secret ending. Our viewers are out of practice as well.
Well, whether you watch it live or not, well, welcome back to our secret ending where you get tortured by us for really, really bad dad jokes. Oh, Stacey's still there.
Yeah.
All right, Stacey, you're the unlucky one to hear my bad joke.
What do
And
we got?
I consult this dad joke book back again.
Yep.
So I have a riddle for you and for everyone. What starts with an O and ends with neons and sometimes make you cry?
Onions.
No.
I mean, it's not no, it's just not what's written
Hey,
there.
Claire. Hi. Onions, Hannes. Oh, everyone's still here. Wow. Everyone's, remember.
Oh, look, I'm chopping some onions.
No. It is opinions. But great. Like, it's actually direct you to say onions,
Yes.
but really it's opinions.
It's also onions.
Yeah. All right. So a friend asked me what rhymes with orange.
Good for that friend.
What rhymes with orange?
It's often said that nothing rhymes with orange or orange.
What's orange?
That's the American pronunciation.
But you sound it so
Orange.
you say it so weirdly.
Because there was an ad. There was an ad that said that door hinge rhymes with orange.
Stacey, what did you say? Sorry. Opinions. It's back to opinions comments. Something bad must be. Sorry, yes. Something
Gone
about
off the
the door.
rails here. So friend said something orange. Nothing rhymes with orange. What's
Wrong.
the end of the joke?
So again, I was reminded everyone of what it was. A friend asked me what rhymes with orange. I said, no, it doesn't.
Oh, okay. That's a good ending.
Thank you. I got you chuckled. Yes. Okay, one more. Let me find something that is good. What word starts with E, ends with E, and only has one letter in it?
Envelope.
Yes. Well done. And that is everyone. Thank you so much for watching our secret ending bad dad joke. And that is it for now. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.